Mississippi State faces its third-ranked opponent in a row when the Bulldogs travel to face Auburn in Week 5, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN. In fact, Dan Mullen's squad will have faced number 11 Georgia, number 12 LSU, and, now, the number 13 Auburn Tigers over the last 3 contests. The Bulldogs are the only team in the nation to have endured such a daunting task. Despite its one-sided loss to Georgia last week, number 24 Mississippi State continues to put up impressive stats on both sides of the ball. The Bulldogs are the lone team in the SEC not to fumble 175 attempts yet this season. The one sack allowed by the offensive line makes the unit one of just 3 among Power 5 schools to surrender 1 sack or fewer, joining Iowa State and Minnesota. Auburn, 3-1-1-0 sacked, and Mississippi State, 3-1-1-1 sacked, are alike. Both need a win to prove they belong among the conference's best. The Tigers looked great against Missouri, but their struggles against Clemson were all too real. 1. The quarterbacks. The Nick Fitzgerald for Heisman Award consideration talk, which spiked after Mississippi State's win over LSU, cooled considerably after the loss to Georgia. The junior threw for a paltry 83 yards and rushed for another 47 against the Bulldogs, both fewer than his average on the season. That said, Fitzgerald is still a dynamic force and a threat every time he touches the ball. He has work ahead of him against Auburn, which ranks 3rd in the SEC in pass defense, 138 yards per game. Jarrett Stidham is proving to be one of the more accurate passers in the conference. That's evident by the 32 of 37 passes, 86.5%, the sophomore connected on for 364 yards in Auburn's win over Mercer in Week 3. Just as with Fitzgerald, however, a tough task lies ahead of Stidham this week. Mississippi State is second to Vanderbilt in the conference in pass defense, 129 yards per game average. 2. Series history. Auburn owns a 62-26 margin over Mississippi State, but the Bulldogs have the momentum in the all-time series. Dan Mullen's program has won 3 of the last 5 meetings. 3. The opening line. Mississippi State enters its Week 5 matchup as a 10-point underdog, -115. 4. Player to watch. Nose tackle Jeffrey Simmons. It's rare that a nose tackle gets as much attention as Simmons does. Then again, the sophomore is no ordinary nose tackle. Simmons leads the conference with 21 tackles among fellow defensive linemen. His early season accolades already include a pair of SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week honors for his performance in games against Louisiana Tech and LSU. He's the first Bulldogs player to accomplish the feat since Preston Smith, now of the Washington Redskins, did it in 2014. 5. What's at stake? Which squad will show up for Dan Mullen against Auburn? Will it be the Mississippi State team that hung 459 yards of offense on the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech, or the one that mustered a mere 280 yards against Georgia's Bulldogs? A win for Mississippi State could prove the Bulldogs belong among the conference elite, despite the loss to Georgia.